Hey, I'm Spenser.
And I'm Britain.
Since 2011, Buckethead has released 287 albums in his Pikes series. We're going to listen to them.
3 at a time.
This is Getting Head.
Oh, Bucketcast! Welcome, bots, slogs, friends, and bucketheads. This is episode number 28 of Getting Head, a Bucketcast.
Hell yeah. 28.
Hell yeah.
Nothing good happens when you're 28.
No, nobody likes you when you're 28, or 23, or 24, or 20.
Or all of your 20s, or ever.
No, yeah, I guess that's kind of the human condition, right?
Yeah, nobody likes you. You just got to deal with that. That's life.
Imagine being liked.
I do imagine that sometimes.
Must be nice.
It must be. Yeah.
It must be.
I don't know.
Real nice.
I'm more familiar with being reviled, I think.
Yeah. I am at the end of so many revenge plots at this point that it's kind of part of my personality. I feel like I'm okay with being a foil at this point. Yeah, I'm like a heel in wrestling. You know?
There you go. Yeah,
I'm just playing a character who's just like throwing their trash out the window on the highway and like eating dogs and all bad things. Just all bad things.
Speaking of which, I am forever reminded of my brother. I call him my brother. He's my cousin. It's complicated. We'll just say my brother.
No.
I went to dinner with him and my mom and his girlfriend at the time. They'd been dating for a long time. They were very serious. And her dad, so my brother's girlfriend's dad, we all went to dinner.
Okay.
I think it was at a Chili's, I want to say, in Anchorage, Alaska. We went to Chili's a lot. I don't know. It's a thing you do.
Yep.
In Alaska. And her dad, who lived in Southeast Asia, regaled us while we were waiting to order our food with a story of eating dog meat. And I am forever reminded of this story by just thinking about this like weird like old white dude just talking very loudly about eating dog meat in a Chili's in Anchorage, Alaska. And everyone at the table feeling uncomfortable. Like,
I mean, that's not. Did you ask any questions? I mean,
yeah,
I've got a lot of questions. Break this down. I'm sorry to like interrupt. Keep going. How does dog taste?
What I don't remember a lot of this. This was a long time ago. I was probably 18, maybe 17, 18 at the time, and I was high as fuck. Like real stoned.
A teenage dirtbag by Wheatus, if you will.
I was a teenage dirtbag. 100%. I just remember him being like, yeah, it's a greasy meat, stringy.
Yeah, I mean, depending on the dog, and I'm sure they're like not actually like raising dogs for food and like fattening them up in a way that like makes their meat pleasant, like we do with like factory farming. Imagine factory farming dogs like in America
awful.
And how unpopular that would be.
That would be incredibly unpopular.
Yeah. Maybe I should do in exploring my role as like the heel. Maybe I should open up a dog farm.
No.
For food quality dog.
No.
No?
No.
I mean, would you break veganism if someone was like, hey, I got some dog jerky?
What? It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
It was an awkward experience. I think about it sometimes. That guy was like weird and really intense. And definitely the vibe of an old white man who lives in Southeast Asia.
Oh, he was an old white man. I didn't catch that. I thought it was just an Asian guy who lived in Southeast Asia. I'm like, okay, that's a cultural thing, whatever, that's fine.
No, he's an American dude who lives in Thailand by choice.
Oh, so he's got interesting tastes.
That's a way to put it, not maybe the right way to put it.
By that, I mean a lot of external hard drives the FBI is seeking.
Yeah, so that was a time. My brother, no longer dating said girl.
Oh, he didn't marry into that fucking royal family?
Nope, didn't last. You know, I don't know if the dog meat story was part of that or not, but I like to imagine it was.
Yeah. I hope that's the moment he realized it was over. He's like, I can't do it with this dog meat guy. I can't, you know, because you marry the parents too, and like you don't want to marry dog meat guy.
You don't want to have a dog meat dad.
Dog meat guy with like child porn. Like you don't want dog meat dad. That's
you don't want
good.
a dog meat dad.
You don't want an 8chan dad.
Oh, woof. Yeah. Anyways, Brit, what's new? Hit me. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. Hanging out.
You've been doing some walking, I hear. Tell me about your walking.
God, I've been walking everywhere, dog. I've walked like probably like 30, 40 miles in the past few days. I'm just out there walking.
It feels good, right? Like
that's great.
Just walking.
No, especially since it's nice out, and it kind of made me realize like I really just love walking everywhere, but I fucking hate like the weather here. Like there's maybe like 5 good months out of the year to like just walk around whenever you want. Like you know, where you don't have to like put on a bunch of coats and scarves and shit like that. Like I love coats and scarves and shit like that, but
only if you're a pussy.
Go fuck yourself. I'm cold.
No, I actually like. So I like walking around too. I actually really like the weather here, even when it's like colder. Like I don't know. I think most of the time it's all right. It only sucks if it's like really wet and really cold, which it can get. You know, and that does suck. It's like the wet cold really like kind of gets into your bones, and it really doesn't feel good. But when it's not that, it's great.
True that.
Yeah, heck yeah.
What's going on with you, dude?
Oh, you know, I've been making noise music with this synthesizer toy I bought from you. That's been fun.
Cool noise. That's everyone's favorite genre of music. why don't you?
Yeah,
why
it's
don't you
pretty
talk
great.
about
I sent
that?
it to my my one friend who likes noise music, and I was like, "Check out my noise music." That's the only person I sent it to, and he was like, "Yeah, it's pretty good noise." And I was like, "Thanks."
Is that really a good friend to have? I bet this guy's like into paleo or something weird, right?
No. He's like really dope. Oh, he's really into beans.
Interesting, a beans guy.
But also a noise guy. And like when you know noise guy and also beans guy, like it makes sense.
Yeah. Do you think he's the type of guy who will just like straight up open a can of beans and like just eat it straight out of the can with a spoon without eating it?
So he's my coworker, and I have literally watched him do that on a lunch break.
Oh, hell yeah. What kind of beans like does he prefer, do you think? Like is he a Bush's guy? Is he like a generic guy?
You know,
does he like
the
pork and beans?
I know he just likes beans a lot in general.
You should
but like
inquire, dog.
I'm not actually sure what his favorite. We should get him as a guest on this podcast, actually. Like he would be a great guest.
Hell yeah.
You'd love to hear it. Another exciting thing that happened to me, right? I shaved off my neck stripes.
I saw that.
So I got
so
no more neck stripes anymore. If you're listening to this, what that means is I grew a handlebar mustache that went all the way down my neck. So I had stripes going from the edge of my chin, or going from my mustache down to the edge of my chin, and then down my neck in like long stripes.
Very much like what's the name of that dude? He's in like High on Fire and Sleep
Matt
or something.
Pike.
Matt Pike, yeah, very Matt Pike of you.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I guess I could see that.
Because he had the mustache forever, and I think he might still have it, but yeah.
So the neck stripes were incredibly stupid, but I loved them because of how stupid they were. And it was a fun thing to have, but I've since shaved them off, and now I just have a regular old Hulk Hogan style mustache, which I think looks better on me than the neck stripes, you know?
Can we call it a brother stash?
A brother stash, yeah.
Brother stash.
And it's been fun. It's been fun. It's cool that I have a mustache now. We haven't talked about that, but like I have never had a mustache at all in my life up until last year.
Not most people. A lot of people can grow beards. They just don't have the patience.
Yeah. See, I can't grow a beard though. So what I did is like you may have noticed some of this, but like earlier this year, I didn't shave my face for like 4 months or something, just because I wanted to see what would happen. And guess what? Fucking bullshit happened. It looked awful and felt awful, and I fucking hated it.
So you took a picture of yourself, and that's the like what I made an illustration of you for the the thing for this podcast, and like you have a beard, and like you only had a beard for maybe like a month or two out of your life, and for some reason it's just like your icon on this podcast now. So
that is
I mean I don't think I actually like combined the beard layer with the rest of your face, so I think I could actually take the beard layer off.
Sure.
Let me look into that.
I think I'm gonna stick with just the brother stash for a while. I like the way it looks. It's fun. It's stupid. It's as stupid, I think, or almost as stupid as the neck stripes, but it's more like socially acceptable. You know.
Yeah.
So it's a fun vibe. You know, nobody gets to see it because we're all wearing masks, and probably will be for most of the rest of my life. But we shall see.
We shall.
You know. But, you know, that's it, really.
That's cool.
Brit,
what's up?
Will you hit me with a bucket fact?
I will hit you with a bucket fact.
Bucket fact, bucket fact, bucket fact, bucket fact, bucket fact, bucket fact.
One of the books most commonly attributed to Buckethead's technical prowess is The Thesaurus of Scales and Melodic Patterns by Nicolas Slonimsky, which is a publication also extensively utilized by virtuosos like Jason Becker, Marty Friedman, Sean Lane, as well as non-guitarists like John Coltrane and Jaco Pastorius, and famous assholes like Frank Zappa. The book's guitar version is largely credited with helping popularize some important concepts in shred guitar, like 12-tone rows and 3-note string scales.
Yeah. Yeah, 3 notes per string is pretty iconic. Like, that's... Anytime you see somebody, well, not anytime, but like most of the time you see somebody doing those really shreddy runs, like it's always 3-note per string stuff.
Yeah, like all that Paul Gilbert. So apparently Paul Gilbert, I think, actually taught the 3-note per string scales to Buckethead.
Wild.
Yeah.
Paul
totally
Gilbert's
wild.
A character, man. That guy is really something.
He's like the cool version. It's like if Steve Vai was cool, he'd be Paul Gilbert.
Sure. Yeah. I so when you said that, my first thought was if a Rivers Kumo was cool, it would be Paul Gilbert. But that's like a totally weird.
Paul Gilbert's just like cool and like, I don't know, he's like incredibly good, but he doesn't give off that fucking like Steve Vai vibe, that Steve vibe.
Yeah.
You know, of just like pretentiousness, I guess. Like,
yeah. He's very like unpretentious. He's very like, he feels like he is your girlfriend's dad, and he's just stoked to talk to you about guitar.
Yeah,
like that. It's like
right.
that kind of a vibe that I get from him.
Right, and like, and you think like, oh, this guy just like fucks around on guitar or whatever, but then he fucking pulls up the axe, and the dude is a fucking like world class virtuoso. Like,
totally.
Paul Gilbert's amazing.
Yeah, and what also is interesting about Paul Gilbert is that he doesn't like. He's one of the more tasteful shredder guys in the sense that like he's not always doing the crazy shredding stuff. Like a lot of his music is like very like restrained, which I think is interesting.
Yeah.
At least in the context of shred guitar.
Yeah, but you know,
That's a
he was
title
also
for the episode. Interesting in the context of shred guitar.
Nothing's interesting in the context of shred guitar.
God, I was thinking about Joe Satriani the other day because we were talking about Kill 'Em All, and Joe Satriani taught what's his name? Kirk Hammett how to play guitar.
No shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so like that got me thinking. It was like, well, fuck. Like, Joe Satriani was teaching guitar lessons in 1981. Like, what the fuck?
I mean, the dude's like in his 60s at least, right?
He's got to be.
No. Like,
he also didn't Joe Satriani teach Steve Vai how to play guitar?
that sounds right too, maybe. He's 64, I guess.
Yeah, wow, he's old as fuck. Yeah, Surfing with the Alien came out in like what, the late 80s, early 90s, and like that was like his biggest thing ever.
Apparently, like, he rose to prominence after he was recruited by Mick Jagger to be lead guitarist for Mick Jagger's first solo tour.
Interesting. That's weird.
I mean, he was recording well before that, but like that's when he like actually became a household name.
Sure.
As much as he is, I guess, you know.
I guess he is, you know, like when you talk about shred guitar, like he's definitely one of the dudes that comes up, you know.
So we're gonna do a quick Satriani fact because this is super interesting.
Satriani fact.
In 1978, Satriani moved to Berkeley, California, to pursue a music career, and resume teaching. His students included Steve Vai, Kirk Hammett, David Bryson of Counting Crows, Kevin Cottigan from Third Eye Blind, Larry Lalonde from Primus.
Wow.
Who also, I guess, played for Possessed? I had no idea.
Really?
That's interesting. Apparently.
That's fucking wild. Was he on any other recordings?
That's a great question. I don't know. Let me check it out real quick. See if I can figure
Sorry,
it out.
that's weird to me. Like
he played guitars for them from 84 to 87. So apparently, yeah, he would have been on Seven Churches and Beyond the Gates.
Wow.
The guitarist from Primus. Yep, he is. He totally is. That's nuts. I had no idea. What?
What?
I thought, because Larry Lalonde is only really known for just being the guitarist of Primus forever, like since like the 80s. Holy shit! I had
Weird.
No idea.
Okay. Like that's awesome.
a thing, I guess.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, yeah. I mean,
I'm
Possessed
into
is
it.
pretty cool. Yeah, they're like proto death metal. They're like, yeah, pretty cool.
You're starting to fight with some nerds on the internet right now.
Yeah, whatever. I don't care.
Because like, oh man, so the eternal battle, right? The one that you see a lot in like internet forums and Facebook and shit like that is like, which was the first death metal band, Possessed or Death? And like people argue about it incessantly.
Who cares?
Like, and you know what? It doesn't fucking matter.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
Like it doesn't
really
matter
doesn't.
at all. Like both bands brought interesting stuff to the table, honestly, and it's like I feel like genres are rarely attributed to one band. Like in some cases they are, but it's very rare. I feel like genres come about as a result of like a music scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah, very
like,
much so.
It's like bands playing off each other and being influenced by each other, and like through that developing something new and unique. Right? And so it's like, I don't know. So nerds, if you're listening to me talk right now, you're dumb. To stop arguing about Death versus Possessed and just listen to some fucking dope death metal. Like it doesn't matter.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
The band Hell Yeah is the first death metal band.
Definitely. They're the most extreme death metal band of all time.
Absolutely.
They took the crown, I believe, from Cryptopsy.
Sure, absolutely. That's why Lord Worm guested on all those Hell Yeah songs.
That's also why Lord Worm quit Cryptopsy, is he could no longer keep up with how metal Hell Yeah was.
Exactly.
Which, you know, little known fact about the history of death metal there.
Worm fact.
Lord Worm fact. So we listened to 3 more Pikes today.
Yeah, we did.
Pikes 82, 83, and 84.
Calamity Cabin.
Dreamless Slumber. In Pike 84, Whirlpool.
Nice.
Yeah. Gosh. There was a lot here.
There's a lot here. Yeah.
Let's start with Pike 82, Calamity Cabin, released on September 27th, 2014. That would be on the exact same day as the previous Pike 81, Carnival of Cartilage.
Nice. Yeah, this one is there's some honestly, there's some honest to goodness death metal riffing in this,
100%.
in this album, which is cool and different, and fun. There's some pretty good riffs on this record. I feel like this one is a little bit more interestingly structured as far as riffs go than some of his other riff focused albums. More so than I think than the ones we listened to last week.
Yeah. The one thing I really didn't like about this album is they used the drum set from some of the earlier Pikes with the fucking terrible sounding cymbals. And I was really just, I noticed it the entire time, but the guitar tone, the riffing, bass, everything else really worked here. And even the drum programming was pretty good. I just really didn't like the kit they used.
I did not notice the cymbal sound, but I did notice the guitar tone. The guitar tone is very thick and
it's
heavy,
super thick,
and death metal-y.
Yeah,
which is cool. I wouldn't call this a death metal album. Let's just disclaimer here.
No, it's pretty thrashy with a lot of death metal elements.
Yeah, I was just this is as far as riffs go, there are some riffs here that would not be out of place in a real death metal band, something like Malevolent Creation or Blood Incantation or whatever, right? There are some riffs here that could be used in a death metal context and would be great. And they're good here too. I'm not saying that the context is bad here. It's just it's not really a death metal album. There are no blast beats.
No. There's some double bass stuff, and there's just it's very much, I think, made death metal by the fact that it has a lot of very thrashy elements, but then there's a lot of very kind of staccato riffs. Yeah,
that are synced with the kicks.
Right, staccato riffs that are synced with the kicks, and a lot of chromatic riffs too, and all of those elements together make it very pretty death metal.
That is true,
but more just rooted in thrash with occasional death metal outbursts, which is pretty cool. It's I would really like to hear this album with vocals over it. I think it'd be pretty sick.
Yeah, I completely agree, and that was something that I thought about a lot while I was listening to this. I was this record could really work. There's a lot of room for vocals, I feel here. And even there's room for leads. This is another album with no solos. There are no guitar solos.
Right, which is strange. There's been a lot of those lately, though, which is
a lot of those. Yeah,
interesting.
And that's cool. But there's a lot of room in this one. I feel like. That said, this one is more interesting than some of those other ones. There were definitely other albums, other riff centric albums from him that we've heard where we've been it would really benefit from some leads, or it could really use that. I didn't necessarily feel this album, I didn't feel it did it a disservice that there were no guitar solos. It was just because it was still interesting. The riffs were still cool and it still worked, but there's room in this one for vocals or for something, but it was fun. It was an enjoyable listen. I thought it was all right.
Fair.
Yeah. I feel it would be a good soundtrack to a destruction derby.
Ooh, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking of while I was listening to it. I was just this just sounds like cars smashing into each other.
Yeah, I like that. I was gonna go as more pump up music for maybe something I don't know, a Daredevil or something like that.
Sure, yeah.
Definitely something with explosions though. There's got to be explosions to this.
A monster truck rally.
Even. Oh, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, definitely monster truck music. Ooh, that should be a genre. I want to be in a monster truck band. That sounds cool as fuck.
One of our friends and potential future guests, Mr. Wang, Mr. Andrew Stromstad, is making an album of what he dubs as NASCAR Wave. And I've heard some of the songs, and let me tell you, it's fucking awesome. So
that's interesting. That's a thing.
It's a thing. NASCAR Wave, monster truck core,
Pretty cool.
That's where we're at in society these days.
Yeah. An album that I don't think should have vocals, though, It's going to be our next Pike. Pike 83, Dreamless Slumber, released on October 3rd, 2014.
Have you ever listened to that band, Transatlantic?
I don't think so.
So they're a prog band that Mike Portnoy plays drums for.
Okay, yeah, I'm aware of them. I don't know.
I feel like it's a super group. I feel like it has like some of the dudes from maybe like Emerson, Lake and Palmer. I want to say maybe it's a different band. I'm not sure. That's probably wrong. But anyways, they're super group. They're super group prog band.
So I'm sorry to interrupt you there.
Spock's Beard. It's Spock's Beard, isn't it?
Spock's Beard.
Yes.
A guy from the guitarist from Kaipa, the Flower Kings, and Agents of Mercy.
Never heard of him.
And then, the bassist from Marillion and Edison's Children, and then Mark Portnoy. I've never heard of any of these people. They must be the who's who of the most boring bands on earth.
So it's a prog band, and it's very prog. And it's like they did like a concept album that I actually got kind of into. It has like kind of a it has kind of a Porcupine Tree vibe, but with like heavier on the synthesizers. Like very long songs that are kind of simple, but they have that like prog feel to them. You know what I mean? It was fine. Anyways, I bring that up purely because this album that we listened to, I feel like, is one of the more progressive Buckethead albums that one of the more progressive rock Buckethead albums that we've heard.
Mm-hmm.
And with vocals, it would be insufferable, much like Transatlantic, because everything is good about Transatlantic, I feel like, except the vocals.
Yeah, I mean, like, and that's the thing about like a lot of prog music is it suffers because it has vocals. Like, honestly, I think Dream Theater would probably be a lot more listenable if they didn't have their fucking vocalist.
100%.
Because I hate it. Like
James Labrie, fuck you.
He's a fine vocalist, but his performance in Dream Theater deserves shame.
I mean, like, there's a lot about Dream Theater I feel like that deserves shame. Like, if you're a fan of Dream Theater, you should be ashamed.
I mean, yeah, it's like, how do you have that much talent in a band and you're completely unable to write a good fucking song? I don't get it.
I mean, so the thing about Dream Theater is, like, they have these moments. Like, there are moments that are, like, really something. Like, where it all comes together and there's, like, a really, like, interesting bass part that's synced with an interesting drum part, and there's like a beautiful guitar solo happening and like a beautiful chord progression on a synthesizer in the background, and you're like, wow, this is something. Wow, I'm like so enjoying this. And then it goes back to the verse, which is like one stupid riff that they repeat for like 16 times while James Labrie does some really insufferable vocals over it. And it just okay, here's the thing. I'm not saying that, like, if you're a fan of Dream Theater, you suck. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, Dream Theater is not a band for me, and I could go greatly into detail as to why, but ultimately, it's a band for nerds.
Yeah, it's like if Queensryche never ever had wanted to get laid.
I knew you were going to say that. I almost interrupted you and said if Queensryche never got laid.
Yeah, they would have ended up Dream Theater 100%. But they got fucking laid, and so they were pretty cool up to a point.
Yeah. No, that's actually a really good point, because like a lot of Dream Theater's music is somewhat similar to Queensryche's music, but like longer and more boring.
So much more boring.
And more nerdy. Like it's it's like those people that are really, really, really into fuck, what's that show? I want to say Farscape, but it's not Farscape. It's the
Babylon 5.
The show your dad's into. Firefly.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of which, we haven't talked about the fact that your dad identifies as brown coat, and that's great. We love that. We love that here at the Bucketcast.
That's totally cool, dude.
But it's like people that are super into Firefly that like go to the conventions and shit, and they're like just insufferable because they're just so aggressively into something that you're like, yeah, it's fine, but it's like you don't need to like it this much. Edit out my burps, please. I keep burping. I don't know what's going on.
I just burped a couple times too. It's good. It happens.
There we go. That's a good one. I've been drinking this Soju.
I don't know what Soju is.
You never had Soju?
Sounds like some weeby ass shit.
No, dude, Soju is really good. So it's rice wine that is flavored and sweetened.
Oh, weeby ass shit.
So what it is, it's basically like it's just rice alcohol that they sweeten with artificial flavor and artificial sweetener.
What anime does that go best with?
Shut up. It's Korean, so it's not anime at all.
What K-pop album does that go best with?
Any BTS album.
BTS. I was thinking it was more of a Blackpink beverage because it's for fucking girls.
Well, so, bro, this Soju here is 12% alcohol by volume.
Cool.
So here's the thing. You mix this bad boy with some seltzer water, and it is a wine spritzer, my friend, but it's peach flavored, which is really fucking nice. And let me just tell you, I love me a wine spritzer, but a wine spritzer made with Soju is way more tasty, and you cannot taste the alcohol at all. It's pretty good.
Fair. Sounds like a plan.
I live right by a Korean market, and I go there a lot, and they always have all this weird shit, and so I buy weird shit from them all the time just to try it. And one of the things that I kind of got into was Soju, and it's interesting. It's definitely like not a thing I think I would have tried otherwise. Like I only tried it because I was like, I'm here all the time, and I see them sell so much of this shit. I should give it a shot.
Is it an H Mart near you?
Yeah.
Oh, so right now they have like a big deal on a whole bunch of Korean snacks.
Yeah.
When you go there, check out the ones that look like Funyuns because they fucking rock.
Okay. Yeah,
So
I
good.
buy like Korean snacks all the time. They're great.
Yeah, Koreans make the best snacks, dude.
Koreans make the best garlic. So I buy these like big tubs of crushed garlic from this Korean company. It's like has a bunch of Korean characters on it. I don't know, but it's literally just pure crushed garlic, and it's fucking so good. It is the best. Yeah. It's the best because it's not pickled at all. Like it doesn't taste like, like if you buy garlic in a jar, like it typically has a like pickled taste to it because it has vinegar in it. This does not. It is just fresh crushed garlic, and it's incredible for cooking. So good.
Sick.
Yeah, amazing. Anyways, Pike 83.
Yeah, this one was a real treat. Another all the fuck over the place album.
Yes.
Dreamless Slumber released on October 3rd, 2014, I believe, which is the birthday of our friend Sam Goodrich. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Sam Goodrich.
On October 3rd, not now. Unless you're listening on October 3rd. Then.
We got to
Happy
send him
birthday.
this episode on October 3rd. Like, listen to
so.
it. Get through all the bullshit. There's going to be something there for you.
Just a little nugget, little present for you. Call out. Love you, Sam. Anyway, this one was separated into 9 tracks called parts 1 through 9. And I don't think we need to really go into individual tracks because this one, much like like Roller Coaster Track Repair or Jeopardy Backwards,
Jeopardy
was just all over the place.
Yes.
Loved it.
Less intense than Jeopardy Backwards, for sure.
Right, but I'd say a little more intense than like Roller Coaster Track Repair.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Definitely, like, it's all over the place. It works really good. One of my notes says, like, this would be super interesting in a live context. Like, to see a band playing this, I think would be, like, really something else.
Very much so.
In the context of this album, though, it definitely does have a very, like, in-the-box kind of feel to it. Like, this was made in a DAW, and it sounds like it. Which isn't bad. It's still interesting music, and I still feel like it has some strengths there. But I like it when Buckethead does this stuff. Like, I
Me
like
too.
it when he gets weird.
Hell yeah. I mean, he's always weird.
That's true.
But, you know, this is one of the weirder, more experimental, like, proggier. Like, he just does so much here that it's hard to keep track of. And, like, even when he does a part I don't like too much, like, you know, 5-10 seconds later, it's a new part. And so, you know.
That's true.
It's hard to hate on any one song or any one part too much because, like, there's always so much going on, and he packs so much fucking musical information in there that there's something for everybody, really.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, unless you just like songs that, like, don't change.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's fine. I understand that.
Yeah, it's interesting and it's fun. I don't feel like it's as strong as those previous albums that we compared it to.
True.
But it is interesting. It's less metal and more like funk and prog based, I feel like, which is also cool. Like, that's dope. There's some guitar solos here, which are cool. It's great. There's also some like really interesting like melodic parts. Like, he does some there are some parts where he just does like a melody on guitar, like it's just a melody, but they're like interesting melodies and not like the sort of stuff we've heard before, like a little bit different. And I think that's cool.
Yeah, I totally feel that. It was a good album overall, and definitely like definitely a roller coaster soundtrack of an album. Like, it had a lot of fucking turns, a lot of dips, dives, hills to climb. Like, it was
I could agree with
very
that.
diverse.
My first thought was, this sounds like the soundtrack to the weirdest ballet I've ever seen.
Interesting. Yeah, because there were some interesting parts there, and this one relied, I feel, a lot on like auxiliary and hand percussion. There was a lot of like bongo samples and shit in here, which was an interesting, you know, choice, because he's had bongos here and there on his stuff before, but I don't know if they've necessarily played as prominently as they did in this album. It was an interesting choice. I didn't hate it. It was a pretty cool, enjoyable album overall, I'd say.
I'd say that as well. Pretty interesting. And also pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
You know what else was pretty cool?
What?
Pike 84.
Hell yeah. It was really cool. I like this one a lot.
Yeah.
Honestly, oh, sorry, go
released on October 7th, 4 days after the previous Pike Dreamless Slumber. So, yeah, I'm sorry. What were you going to say there?
I was going to say, I think this one is my favorite of this group of three. I
definitely
really enjoyed listening to this. Like, it's very in the same vein as 83, but it's a little bit more like streamlined.
So I would actually say it's almost a perfect combination of Pike 82 and 83.
Yeah,
it's a lot more metal.
Yeah,
it's a lot more like, yeah, it's a lot harder. It's got more of a direction, but at the same time, like, he switches it up so much.
Totally. But there are a lot of moments where it really works. Like, he has like some interesting parts with like grooves where, like, there's one part in particular where there's like bass synced to double kicks, and it's like a very like staccato riff, and then he does a guitar solo over it, and it like sounds really cool. And I was like, that's a really cool part. Like, I really like this. I really like this. Like, there were multiple moments that I heard where I was like, this is cool. This is fun. And yeah, I don't think it's all the way strong all the way through. I feel like the first 2/3 are really, really strong, and then it kind of like, But
yeah, it overstays its welcome a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. But the first 2/3 are very, very strong, and like it's interesting and it's fun and it's very metal. But it's like, it's metal with some of those weirder elements from 82 wrapped into it in an interesting and compelling way, and it's very fun.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's another great soundtrack to another fucking roller coaster.
No, bumper cars.
Like,
bumper cars. 100%.
You think this is a bumper car?
It's a bumper car record. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay, I could see
because
the bumper car
exciting, right? But it's also like, it's changing it up. Right, you think about this album synced to lights.
How about can we say go-karts?
Okay, all right,
made
that's
in the middle
compromise.
here. Yeah,
yeah.
Okay,
This could be a go-kart album.
Yeah, I feel that. Definitely a go-kart album. I could feel that 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. I would recommend this Pike for sure.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. Actually, another great pairing of 3 Pikes, I'd say.
Yeah.
Like, much as last week, like, I liked all 3 of these Pikes.
Yeah, I did too.
I didn't dislike a single one of them, and I especially liked, 82 was really good, or 83 was better, and then 84 was probably the best one of the 3. So it was really nice, like, starting out on a good album and leading up to the best album of the 3.
Yeah,
Pleasant
I like
listening
that.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, there's some interesting bass parts here too, which is cool. There were multiple
There
moments
were.
in 83 and 84 where I was like, "Oh, bass."
I'd say more so 84 for sure.
Yeah.
Except for like on 83, some of the like parts where it did more like auxiliary percussion and stuff. There was some cool bass stuff going on there.
Yeah,
but
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, 84 had, I think, more consistently cool bass for the most part. But yeah, there were all some 3 great Pikes here.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm a fan.
Recommend you check them out. Want to take a trip with me?
Oh yeah, I do.
Trip into the bucket void.
Statements from the bucket
Yeah, where we like to shine a light into the dark recesses of the internet, where people are talking about what we're listening to. We want to hear that feedback. We want to talk about it. We want to share it. We want to show you what is special about bucket bots, bucket fans. Right?
Right.
Hell yeah. Let's get things started here. Pike 82 Calamity Cabin. Okay. Commenter J.S. Ling says, I wonder if this is a reference to Evil Dead, what with the cabin and the disembodied hand out in front of the cover art.
Interesting idea.
Interesting idea.
We know that Buckethead is a huge fan of horror.
We do. This would not be out of character.
100% not, no. In as much he had a band with one of the main actors from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, called the Cornbugs, which is great.
Yes, great.
And super weird, but really great. Like, it's some of the most unique music you'll ever hear. And I'd actually highly recommend it to people. Like, if you like horror movies and Buckethead, it's probably right up your alley.
Horrorhead.
So I wouldn't put it past him. Calamity Cabin could definitely be like an Evil Dead thing, although I feel like if he was actually doing that, a lot of times he hides a lot of things in his music or like song titles for you to like actually understand what he's talking about. And so I think if like Calamity Cabin was actually Evil Dead themed, he would have a song called like Boomstick or like something like that.
Can we look at the song, the track listing for Calamity Cabin?
Yeah,
actually, can we pull it up? Because I'm curious now.
So yeah, I can just read them off here because I got them in my notes.
Perfect.
So Calamity Cabin, the first track is just Calamity Cabin.
Okay.
Second is Walking in Circles. Third one is actually, The Forest Sings. So maybe. Number 4 is Downpour, which I don't remember there being rain in the film at all. So I don't know about that one at all. Track 5 is What a Weird Room.
That could be.
Could be. Track 6 is Found in the Tomb.
You skipped track 5.
That was What a Weird Room.
Oh, okay.
Number 6 is Found in the Tomb. Number 7 is Hollow Door.
Okay.
And then number 8 is Beware of Quicksand.
Yeah, I think it is. This is not likely to be a reference to Evil Dead. I mean, maybe, but if it is, it's very tangential. But that's okay. Evil Dead is pretty good. Do you ever see the remake or that they did put out a few years ago?
No, I have not. I've heard nothing but good things though. I've heard it's a really well done film.
Pretty cool. Yeah, like it's fun. They do it a little different.
Yeah, I've heard it's much more like brutal.
Oh,
and
yeah.
There's like
it's
not much
crazy.
levity to the film.
So the one thing that I remember when I think about that movie is so much blood. So much blood. I'm pretty sure the film ends with like a person in a literal like blood rainstorm.
Raining blood from the lacerated sky.
Oh, yeah. Like that. Like as Thomas Araya said.
I will say that line is like the coolest line in all of metal. Raining blood from the lacerated sky.
It is very cool. Yeah.
Is a sick ass fucking line.
Yeah. Is an ass
the
fucking
song
line?
Itself.
Whoa.
It's an ass line.
Yeah.
Get in line for that ass, baby. Boom, 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 boom.
Baby. Of course. Of course you do. User Cook More responds, I see the hand.
Okay. Bucket hand?
Bucket hand. It's not a bucket hand. On Dreamless
bucket
Slumber,
hand job.
Pike 83. Slow Death Hook says, BH not so creative with his song names anymore. Haha. But that's not true. Like Buckethead does like song Pikes where he doesn't name the songs all the time.
I read this earlier. Read the response.
Oh, I'm aware. YouTube user Home Skillet says, little too creative with the music. Frowny face.
Mic drop. That's exactly how I feel. 100%. Like, he doesn't need to concentrate on his song titles if his songs rip dick.
They do rip dick. That is for sure.
They fucking rip nuts, Judy.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Imagine Buckethead's house. Like, so he put... Oh my God.
Bucket house.
Oh, my goodness. We have something to talk about, okay? Buckethead posted a picture on Instagram, on his Instagram story the other day. And I took a screenshot of it because I was like, we need to talk about this. I should just image share it with you. Here, hold on.
So, do you think Buckethead actually is Buckethead?
Yes. I do think that is actually Buckethead.
Why do you think that?
Well, because of the shit that he posts. Like, it all like is very Buckethead. Like, he'll either share like videos of him playing guitar or just videos of people that he think are really good at guitar. And it's like the sort of videos that he shows are like 100% like the sort of shit I would imagine Buckethead thinks is cool. Like 100%.
You don't think it could be P Sticks or Dan Monty?
Say what?
We don't think the account could be P Sticks or Dan Monty. You're just like a big fan?
I don't think so. I think it is Buckethead. 100%. Here, I'm going to share an image with you.
You should
Oh, you disabled screen sharing, Brit.
Oh, I'm sorry. One sec. Here we go. There you go. Should be able to do it now.
Okay. So, this is an image that Buckethead shared in his story the other day. And there's a lot of interesting things in this image. Now, first, I'm sorry. First off, what's really interesting is a fucking Subaru Brat. Yes. So let's get to that. Let's describe the image for anyone who is listening to us. So what we have here is we have an image of a large garage. It looks like a mechanic's shop or potentially like a just large garage in a home, but it looks more like a mechanic's shop.
100%, yeah.
And the main thing in the image is a Subaru Brat, which is, I don't know much about that car, but it is an unusual looking vehicle. From the 80s,
it was a vehicle from the 80s that Subaru produced and largely made to compete with the I believe Chevy El Camino, which was a two-door coupe car, but with like a regular cab like you'd have on a pickup truck, and both of these cars had like gear ratios that were geared towards like lower torque in order for them to have more like, you know, ability to actually haul things. And
this is a very cool looking vehicle. Like, it looks dope. It's got quite a cool look to it. And there is what looks like a roll bar in the back.
That's 100% a roll bar.
Yeah, so it's in the back, like, you know, storage area, right? Or like what do you call that? Bed of the truck, right?
So it's both a roll bar, but it's also what do you call those things? They're things they make for pickups, so you can like haul wood and put it against the back of the bed instead of like making it hang out the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what those things are for, though. So, that, and it also definitely looks like a roll bar too.
So this vehicle looks kind of like an El Camino, but much smaller. Like, it looks like a much smaller vehicle.
That's about right.
Which is cool. That means it probably has a lot of get up and go, depending on the kind of engine that's in it. But what's interesting about this one is on the roll bar in the back, we have a sticker that says Buckethead Land.
Okay. I didn't exactly see that. And I was wondering what that said, and God, I mean, this has gotta be...
It's gotta be Buckethead's car. Like, this has to be his vehicle.
Spenser, you should go to California and stock Buckethead.
I mean, that's the like...
I'm just putting that out there. I'm just putting that out there.
This, right? Like, like that's where we get to, right? Like, like the final episodes of this show are just us, like, trying to find Buckethead in California.
So I have Dan Monte's address.
We can't just go to someone's address. We can't go to someone's home. Like, that's
I
not
get that.
cool.
I get that. But I also have the P.O. box that they mail stuff from and like accept return mail from in Agora Hills. And so we could just hang out at the post office and wait for Dan Monte to pick the mail up, or Buckethead, whichever one it is.
See, that's an okay idea. I like that idea.
Yeah, so we could just hang out at a post office like fucking creeps for like a week,
Bucket creeps.
And hope bucket creeps, and just hope that one of them like picks this stuff up, because I've messaged like pretty much everyone in the Bucketverse, and you know, it's hard to get interviews based solely on the absolutely reclusive nature Buckethead has.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, so the other day on Instagram, I was talking to Bill Moseley, the guy who played Chop Top on Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. I asked him to be a guest on here. He didn't say yes or anything, but like he asked if like if we were in contact with Buckethead at all. And I said no. And I asked if he had like heard anything from Buckethead since like the infamous call when like he disbanded the Cornbugs, and Bill Moseley said no.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know if like an interview would be worth anything with him, even, because like, you know, there are a couple of interviews out there like by Natternet with him that like kind of cover his whole history with Buckethead. So
yeah.
You should try to hit up Bill Moseley.
Okay.
We should double team him.
Yeah, we'll tag team that. We'll tag team.
Yeah, he's got like, you know, 250,000 followers and shit. So
nice.
He's like legitimate.
Nice. Yeah. So, anyways, the only reason I bring this image up is because this was posted in a story. Now, typically, story posts are more like snapshots of life. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's very easy to just post whatever. It's not like seen on your page forever.
Well, I'm sorry. Could you do me a huge favor? Can you try to zoom in on the stuff above the car here? There's like those signs up there, and I want to see if we can read those at all.
One says, "When you're ready to get serious, BC Goodrich," or is it or
BF Goodrich? Hepatitis BF Goodrich Warlock.
BF Goodrich, right? But yeah, so that looks like a... And then there's another statement here that says 2.75% charge on credit card or debit card. So this has got to be a mechanic's shop.
Yeah, we do not something personal checks. Yeah, this is definitely a mechanic shop. This is not someone's home.
Yeah, so there's like some Amazon packages in the background. There's a sign here that says, notice all vehicles... dang, I can't really read what that says. Dang, okay, sorry. I can't read what that says.
That's good.
But yeah, so it's got to be a mechanic shop. That Buckethead's...
God.
It's interesting to know that Buckethead drives a Subaru Brat, because that is a very unique vehicle.
He's a very unique human being. Like, it's very unique. It's very weird in like 80s/early 90s. And that's the exact same set of words I would use to describe Buckethead.
Exactly.
So, like, no, I could definitely see Homeboy cruising in that shit. That's dope as fuck.
Yeah. For sure. That's a dope car. I'm stoked that Buckethead has such a rad ride. And I like that he even like draws attention to himself here as having a Buckethead Land sticker on his Brat.
That's hella cool. And he even has a Subaru Brat sticker on his Brat, which is great. On the right-hand side there. See that?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
There's a sticker of a Subaru Brat. So I'm curious now, is there a subreddit for Subaru Brats? Or Subaru Brat fandom, because I bet Buckethead would be a poster there, though I don't think that he would draw attention to the fact that he is Buckethead.
Definitely not, no. But yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
God, I should probably buy more asparagus and pickle it myself, huh?
Yeah, you easily could do that.
Easy.
Anyways, I thought that was interesting. I'm glad we got an opportunity to talk about it.
Super. That is actually very interesting. I do wonder if that is Buckethead.
I do too.
I hope it is.
I really wonder.
Because, like, I mean, I've actually posted on some forums before about believing that is Buckethead's account, and some people immediately dismissed me.
Interesting. Really?
Yeah. And said, nope, fan account. And I'm like, really? I mean, and I asked them for clarification, and no one did, so... I don't know.
Huh.
Yeah. I do wonder.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So for Pike 84, we have an interesting comment here from YouTube user Ernest Saucedo, who says, this Pike makes me want to duct tape kittens, then remove tape at high speed.
So I read that comment earlier when I was listening to this album. And, what the fuck?
I don't know. Like, I'm not sure what this person is getting at here or why.
Like, they want to rip the hair off of kittens?
Yeah, that seems terrible. Why would you want to do that?
It does.
Like,
exactly. And, like, Buckethead's music, like, even at its most aggressive, none of it's really, like, violent.
Yeah, like, Buckethead seems like the least violent person to me.
Right?
Like,
I mean, he you know, he's interested in martial arts and nunchucks and shit, but, like, I think he's more interested in that on, like, a cool aesthetic, like, spiritual level, and, like, he doesn't want to fuck with people. Like, he does not make fight music at any point.
I don't get the vibe that Buckethead wants to hurt anyone or anything. Like,
no.
He seems like a kind soul.
Right, he's a gentlehead. Gentlehead?
I feel like this is summed up very well with user Kindled One, who says, okay. And then user Max K, who says, okay.
Yeah, I like that.
It's
a proper response.
Pretty good response to that. Yeah, okay, and like... Yeah, there's a lot of music that I've listened to that is definitely like aggressive music and like comes from a perspective of like, yeah, I want to fight you. Like a lot of Pantera songs make me think like Phil Anselmo has headbutted people like that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, Phil Anselmo is definitely like a violent person.
For sure. Like he's definitely punched drywall. He's definitely headbutted people.
Oh, yeah, I mean, imagine how much drywall has been destroyed with the soundtrack of Pantera. Specifically,
Dude, too much to even quantify.
Cowboys from Hell, Vulgar Display of Power, and Far Beyond Driven. Especially, I feel like Far Beyond Driven is like the soundtrack to like destroying drywall as a white man.
Far Beyond Drywall.
That's the name of the episode.
Yeah, it is.
I really like that.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like every person that I know who still stands Pantera is definitely like a drywall punching type, or maybe not now in their life, but like have definitely historically been a drywall puncher. You know what I mean?
At the same time, like I in a way do definitely stand Pantera, but only like one album and 2 songs.
Yeah.
And that's Power Metal from like 1989. Fucking rips.
It does rip.
I just listened to it again for the first time in like a decade the other day, and like the whole album fucking rocks. It's like it reminds me a lot of like Painkiller.
Yeah.
By Priest. Like it fucking like it's
Same
got
kind
this
of vibe,
great classic metal feel, but like I mean, and Dimebag Darrell's riffs on that album fucking rule. Like Dimebag Darrell was a really good guitarist.
Oh, 100%.
He deserves like the praise he gets, except like his fucking Dean guitars are fucking
They're so ugly. They're the ugliest guitars that have ever existed.
Yeah, it's like he was like, "Hey, can you make me something that hasn't been made before?" And they're like, "All of the aesthetically good-looking guitars have already been made, Darrell." And he's like, "Well, then make me the ugliest shit you've ever seen." And they're like, "Yeah, okay, we can do that." And the Razorback was born.
Yeah, and they're like, "Cool, we'll just come up with a bunch of like shitty photoshopped images, and then we'll like make a vinyl transfer and put them over this guitar body so it looks like fucking garbage, and then we'll sell them."
And they're like, "Hey, Dimebag, you know how every fucking like stupid truck in Texas is wrapped with like the dumbest Southern bullshit you've ever seen?" And he's like, "Yeah." And they're like, "We're gonna do that to your guitar." And he's like, "Hell yeah, hell yeah,
hell yeah,
hell yeah."
Yeah. That is definitely accurate. I got a great screenshot earlier of this dude that like got mad in it. So like I follow this group on Facebook called Actual Ugly Guitars, which is hands down my favorite fucking group on Facebook. It's amazing. And it's just people posting images of like ugly guitars. And
I've seen you post several things, I think, from here.
Oh, absolutely. I post stuff from there all the time. It's literally my favorite group on Facebook. It's amazing. And so somebody posted a bunch of the like Dimebag signature guitars, and that I thought was perfect and so in spirit for that group. And like I was like, yeah, hell yeah, all these Dean guitars are fucking ugly as shit. And this one dude with his profile picture was like a drawing of like a dude strung up upside down and like another dude like sawing him in half. And he was like, "You're fucking dumb if you think those guitars are ugly." And or no, he said, here, you know what? I'll just pull up the image. I have it right here. What did he say? Oh, right here. He says, "You're crazy for thinking his guitars are ugly." And then a gentleman responded and he said, "It's all a matter of taste. And apparently some people don't have any whatsoever. Like the people who like these. Just saying." Which is an amazing response.
Yes.
And then that same gentleman responded and he said, "You're fucking dumb."
Hell yeah.
Which is an amazing just interchange. I love the internet. Like I talk about the internet a lot, but I love the internet. Like that like was a thing I giggled about a lot this morning, and you know, I don't know. It's beautiful to see these people in their natural environments just taking pot shots at each other and
thriving.
Yeah, truly.
Honestly, there's a certain point after I've got like a couple of drinks in me where I'm just like on Reddit and I'm like, I'm just going to be mean to dumbasses. And then I just spend a lot of time on like r/capitalism versus communism. And just talk down to capitalists who don't read books.
Sure. As one does.
Because that's great. Because like the one thing I can always count on is people who ardently defend capitalism and take no quarter and just believe that like there's nothing correct about socialism, I can guarantee you every single one of those people doesn't read books. And like books, oddly enough, are where information is. And so like these people can only be bothered with a cursory like a Googling and brief Wikipedia view of Marx and Engels. And that's like their entire beliefs on socialism. Like that's not what theory is. Okay. But it's fun because like you just get to talk down to these people and they never have any good comebacks. And so it's very like fulfilling because like you just make them look like a fool and then they just get angry, or they come up with stuff that you can just keep providing evidence against, and it's really wonderful.
Good.
So if you're a capitalist on the internet, I'm fucking coming for you. And not like coming like with my prostate or my penis or anything. Like,
yeah, you gotta make it clear, right?
Yes, I'm not gonna have an orgasm for you, fella, unless like I own you so fucking hard that I have to jerk off about it, which has happened at least a couple times.
Tell me more.
Well, I mean, sometimes you just like pull out the theory so hard that it's like pulling out your dick, and you just can't stop stroking it, you know.
Yeah.
Like when I get deep into syndicalism, like it makes my prostate go. It's one of those.
Yeah. Cool.
Yep.
In Mind's Eye says kinky. Like it's hard to speculate about Buckethead's kinks, and I think it would maybe be inappropriate to do so. But. Right. What kind of kinky sex do you think has taken place while listening to Buckethead's music?
I mean, that's a good question, because I don't know if like he's... I mean, the people who follow him are weird, and I guess okay, so like weird people oftentimes are not attractive. And oftentimes,
I don't know. I've known
not,
some pretty attractive weird people.
That's true. That's true. But like, have you known any attractive people who have listened to Buckethead? Better question.
No.
There you go. So, like, unattractive people are oftentimes gravitated towards kink because it places less of a burden on being attractive as a form of sexuality, right?
I guess I could see that.
And so, you know, it makes me wonder because, you know, weird people listen to weird music and have weird sex consequently. Some maybe not consequently. Like, it's all interrelated, though.
Sure.
And so, I gotta believe there's been some weird stuff that has happened to Buckethead's music at some point.
Yeah, diaper play, 100%.
100% diaper play. Mostly just diaper play.
No, I would imagine like you got some age play people that listen to Buckethead during. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know, because like none of this stuff is like super
play
kiddie.
Leads into diaper play, right? You get the like
right.
You know, DDLG shit. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Start to see that sort of shit. And I bet hell of those people listen to Buckethead.
That I think that's the type of RAM I have in my computer.
That's a joke for no one, but I love it.
No, literally, like a lot of people, a lot of nerds would really like that joke.
Okay, good job standing your joke.
I think I have DDGL3 in my Mac. Shut up! You enjoy the joke so much.
I do. It's good.
You can't hate on it.
It's good. You're good.
Yeah.
You did a great job. You nailed it.
You're welcome.
No, thank you. No, thank you. Okay. Yeah. All right. We're scraping the fucking bottom of the barrel here, but lastly,
that's fine. We've soaked 30 minutes out of this fucking stone. Like
and we got one more drop of stone left. Okay,
we literally milked a dead bull's penis. Like it wasn't even a cow. We somehow got milk. We don't even know how. Like
We're
Go
just
for it.
talented like that, you know? We're a couple of wizards here.
I mean,
I told the customer at work, I said, I'm kind of a wizard. And then later in the appointment, they said, wow, you're a wizard. And I was like, hell yeah.
hell yeah.
It was dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyways, one of the people who posts a lot of the Buckethead Pikes on YouTube, and this is the user whose postings of the Pikes get the most listens. They're called Poly8.
Yep. That is actually how I've listened to all but like 4 of the Pikes so far.
Yeah.
Like,
there are definitely other people that post them on YouTube, but that's the user who posts them like I think the most like frequently. So they're a big Bucket fan.
Also, their track listings are the most accurate, I found.
Mm-hmm. Like they're a big fan of Buckethead's music, and they it seemed their intentions seem pure. Like none of those videos are monetized or anything. Like they're definitely just showing Buckethead's music because they like Buckethead's music.
I will put this out there between Polypol8 and Natternet. They have provided at least like 50% of the content for this entire podcast. Mm-hmm. And I'm forever grateful to those 2 YouTube accounts. Subscribe to both of them right goddamn now. Yeah.
Anyways, so this was 4 years ago, and I don't remember which Pike this was on, but 4 years ago, a user says, why you change profile pic? Why, Poly8? Why? And then a bunch of question marks. So apparently they changed their profile picture. And then he was like, what, you don't like it? And the user says, you had the old one for so long. I really didn't see a reason to change it. And then he countered by basically just...
Sorry.
Just cut this out. This is so stupid. I hate this. I got nothing good to say about this.
Okay.
I saved it just in case we didn't have enough to talk about. You're right. We already had enough to talk about. So
we've got tons.
That's fine. Brit!
What's up, dog?
What you got to recommend me? Wow, that was so loud. Like, it was so like...
Oh, sorry. I've been getting into a lot of new stuff in the last week. So,
tell me.
For some reason, I got really into Civilization 5 again.
Why 5? You should play 6. It's better.
It's not.
Have you played 6?
I bought 6 because I was playing 5 and realized I didn't have 6, but I used to own it, but I haven't had it in a while. And 5 is superior to 6. I'll say that much.
I mean, I like 5 a lot, and I like 6 a lot. But like, if you're gonna play 6, you should play with the expansions. 5, with all the expansions, is really like cool. But also, like 6 incorporates all of those systems once you have all the expansions.
Right. So what I really like about 5 is just like the early game is so much better. And they released a expansion like very recently, last year actually, for 5, which is a game that came out like over a decade ago.
It's true.
And it was like a late game patch to where it like actually made the late game so where it wasn't just, you know, going through like a production in every fucking city, every fucking turn, and, you know, just like trying to control your enormous goddamn empire.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like, if you gain, like, a foothold around, you know, like, 1000 AD in Civilization 5, the end game is fucking easy. It's way too easy. It's just so goddamn time-consuming, you know? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But then I played 6, and it's all right. I just really prefer most of the game mechanics to 5. That's it.
That's fair. Wait, do you have 6?
Yeah, I have 6 and 5.
Oh, dude, we should play it. Like, I've got 6. I own it on Steam. Where do you own it?
I've got it on Steam, yeah.
Dope. We should play.
Okay, yeah, that'd be dope. But because of that, I started playing Factorio.
Oh, I've heard that's good. I haven't played that.
It's so good. Highly recommended.
Yeah.
It's really fun. It's like I mean, it's a lot of like engineering and like coming up with your own concepts of how to engineer like specific tasks.
Yeah.
And so in that way, it's like, you know, like the old Sierra games, like the Incredible Machine or the Incredible Tune Machine, which are some of my favorite games of all time. But it's also that combined with, you know, just like heavy like resource gathering, like technology and like throughput, a lot like, you know, like Age of Empires 2 or like one of the first 3 Warcraft games. And it's dope as fuck. I really enjoy it. Highly recommended.
Tight.
And then because of that, tangentially, I was looking at a lot of Wikipedia articles and stuff, and I started reading a book that I'm over halfway done with now called Lords of Finance, The Bankers Who Broke the World.
Okay.
By Liaquat Ahmed. It was basically about like the 4 central bankers who absolutely broke the economy and kind of caused the Great Depression.
Nice.
Along with Winston Churchill, because Winston Churchill did some really fucked up shit with the gold standard, but it's super interesting. Enjoying the shit out of it.
Well, that's fucking great, man. I love to hear all of that.
Been doing stuff this week. What do you got to recommend, dog?
You know what I got to recommend?
What's that?
Is an anti-recommendation, because we watched half of Lethal Weapon last night, 1987's Lethal Weapon. We watched half of that film. And okay, a little bit of backstory here. I, as a kid, liked the Lethal Weapon films. When I was a kid, my main like source of like visual entertainment was like 80s and 90s action movies. Like that was what raised me. That is why I am who I am. I'm pretty sure that's why I got into thrash metal. Long story short, 80s and 90s action films, huge part of my childhood, right? And like Lethal Weapon or the Lethal Weapon series, specifically the first film, was something I looked back on like pretty fondly. It's been a really long time since I've seen those films, but I remembered liking them and enjoying them at the time. And we watched half of Lethal Weapon yesterday, and it is not a film for children. Let me say that. For one thing, Mel Gibson literally attempts suicide multiple times in the first hour of the film, quite graphically. Yeah. Anyways, watching it now as an adult, I'm like, dude, what is this movie? Like, what is that movie? It's like not funny bad enough to be like a, like, you know, shit, like fun is like you're watching a shitty movie from the past, but it's also like, I don't think good or funny enough to be like a good movie. It's like somewhere in between where it's just like it strikes this like it's like the worst part of the uncanny valley, but for like nostalgia movies. It's like it has the stuff you remember, but it also has a bunch of like dark, sad, dour, serious shit that you don't remember that like totally recontextualizes a lot of the stuff that you liked about it. And in a way that I was watching this, I was like, I am not enjoying this. So don't watch Lethal Weapon. That's my recommendation. Follow you on the internet.
You know what? I'm a pull off the veil today, and stop having people go to my personal account. You can find me at Meme Scoop, SCUUP. On Instagram. I also run a mean account. It's a mean account. It's not a meme account.
You run a meme account that is amazing and one of the finest meme accounts, and I always share your content.
Well, I mean, you understand.
That all of you follow.
I appreciate that, but at the same time, I take this with a grain of salt because you're basically the same dumb asshole I am. So you're gonna get all of the jokes I make, whereas the general public is more like, no.
That being said, that doesn't mean that anything that I'm saying is any less truthful.
That's true. I appreciate that you appreciate it, but I also judge you for it.
Good, as you should. As
I definitely should. Where can I find you, Spenser?
I'm at New Metal Karate Society on Instagram and at New Metal Cult on Twitter.
Oh yeah, and you can find us at a Bucketcast or at Bucketcast on Twitter or Instagram. We make Buckethead memes. Check them out; they're fun.
I love that. I need to make some bucket memes. I had an idea for one the other day that's pretty wonderful, and I need to make that.
You should put it up, dog.
You know what would be funny is just to post like stills from pornography, but with just Buckethead's head like censoring the bad parts.
I've kind of already done that. Like,
that's the joke.
Yeah. Okay.
If you want content like that, check out our Buckethead, our at Bucketcast account on Instagram, because that's what we're up to there. So,
indeed, it is.
You know.
Hell yeah. This has been Britain.
This has been Spenser. You've been listening to Getting Head, a Bucketcast.
Bucketheads.
Hey.
Due to your Zoogle flacency, I'm going to have to nibble the friggin' Spaggendache